tranquil outdoor dining ideas for small gardens and courtyards in open homes. Under the shifting light of a thoughtfully designed home, the boundaries between indoors and outdoors are not rigid lines. They are soft, fluid transitions where spaces converse with one another. The living room doesn't end where the sliding doors meet. Instead, it spills gracefully into an open courtyard or a small garden, creating a seamless connection that feels both intentional and effortless. In my vision, an open concept home is not simply about removing walls, it is about weaving the rhythms of daily life into the textures of nature. Air flows freely, light travels uninterrupted, and the scent of leaves or blossoms mingles with the comfort of an indoor retreat. This is not just a home, it is an ecosystem of beauty, function, and human presence. I imagine a peaceful dining table set within this harmony, a table surrounded not by clutter, but by life itself. Around it, the subtle sound of leaves shifting overhead, the occasional murmur of birdsong, the gentle movement of sunlight as the day progresses. One step from the warmth of the living room takes you onto stone pavers softened by creeping moss. The coolness of the stone contrasts with the warmth of the sunlit air, and the atmosphere feels like a bridge between the protective shelter of indoors and the openness of the sky. Here, every moment of dining becomes an experience, not just of taste, but of touch, sound, and sight. When space is limited, design demands discipline. In a small garden or courtyard, every choice carries weight. There is no room for excess. Each plant, each piece of furniture, each decorative accent must earn its place. This is where intentionality becomes the designer's most powerful tool. We approach the space like a carefully composed piece of music, where every note serves the whole, where harmony comes not from abundance, but from balance. Simplicity is often misunderstood as emptiness, but here it means clarity. Clarity of vision, clarity of purpose, clarity of experience. Greenery, chosen with care, becomes both structure and art. Rather than scattering plants randomly, we position them so that each one adds meaning to the whole composition. The soft fronds of a fern catch light differently than the glossy leaves of a citrus tree, and their placement should feel deliberate. Colour palettes are restrained, guided by nature's own tones. Deep greens, muted browns, occasional bursts of floral colour that act as punctuation rather than overwhelming the scene. Textures, too, are layered. The roughness of terracotta pots, the smoothness of polished stone, the tactile softness of an outdoor cushion. Vertical gardens are a natural solution for small courtyards, transforming walls into lush living surfaces. Imagine a tapestry of plants climbing upward, turning plain boundaries into green architecture. These vertical displays not only expand the amount of greenery without taking up precious ground space, but also serve a functional role, improving air quality, softening harsh structural lines, and providing a sense of enclosure without heaviness. When placed behind a dining table, they create a living backdrop, a wall that shifts with the seasons and breathes with the weather. In the evening, small lights embedded among the foliage can create an enchanting glow, casting shadows that dance softly as the leaves move. The courtyard itself is a vessel for intimacy. Even in urban environments where homes stand shoulder to shoulder, a courtyard can provide privacy, seclusion, and a sense of quiet. It is an inward-facing room without a ceiling, a sanctuary shielded from the world beyond its walls. In designing such a space, we must think not only about what the eye sees, but also about how it feels to inhabit it. Light becomes a tool. Pale stone or concrete underfoot reflects sunlight, keeping the space bright and airy. Strategically placed mirrors stretch the boundaries of perception, making a modest area feel expansive. And furniture chosen for low profiles preserves openness while maintaining comfort. Overhead, a pergola offers both structure and beauty. Its beams can support a living canopy of flowering vines, such as jasmine or wisteria, that shift with the seasons. In spring, blossoms perfume the air. In summer, the foliage filters the light into patterns of dappled shade. In autumn, leaves drift down, marking the change of time. And in winter, the bare lattice allows the low sun to warm the space. This ever-changing ceiling creates a sense of connection to the cycles of nature, even in the heart of the city. The sounds of a courtyard are as important as its sights. While design often focuses on what we see, the atmosphere is incomplete without sound. The rustle of leaves, the soft trickle of water from a small fountain, or even the gentle hum of wind chimes can elevate the mood. These sounds mask the distant noise of traffic or neighbours, replacing them with a soundtrack of calm. The presence of water, even in the smallest form, a wall-mounted spout, a bowl-shaped basin, introduces movement and reflection, elements that add depth to the sensory experience. In planting, restraint is as crucial as creativity. We select species not only for their beauty, but for their adaptability to the space and climate. Fragrant herbs like lavender, rosemary, and mint do more than perfume the air. They can be plucked fresh for cooking, tying the dining experience directly to the garden. Dwarf fruit trees, such as lemon or kumquat, bring a Mediterranean spirit to the space, offering both visual interest and seasonal harvests. Native plants, adapted to the local environment, require less care and conserve resources, making the garden sustainable as well as beautiful. The goal is to create a space that thrives with minimal intervention, so the homeowner can enjoy rather than constantly maintain it. Furniture is selected with a careful eye toward both comfort and proportion. A round dining table encourages conversation, allowing everyone to face each other without barriers. Foldable or stackable chairs preserve flexibility, making it easy to clear the space for other activities. Textiles, cushions, throws, and table linens are chosen in earthy tones or muted pastels that echo the natural surroundings. Each element contributes to an atmosphere that is welcoming without being overbearing. In a small garden or courtyard, the real luxury is not in size, but in intimacy. Unlike sprawling lawns that disperse energy, compact spaces gather it, concentrating life into a shared moment. Families might enjoy a quiet dinner under the stars. Friends might linger over coffee in the late morning sun. The proximity of nature, plants close enough to touch, scents carried on the air, the sound of leaves above, creates an immersive environment that is both calming and invigorating. Designing such a space is an act of orchestration. Architecture and nature meet here, not in opposition, but in dialogue. The lines of the home flow into the organic forms of plants. The rhythm of indoor life aligns with the slower, grounding rhythm of the outdoors. To step from the living room into this garden is not to leave one space for another. It is to continue the same thought in a different language. With planning, with attention to detail, and with sensitivity to the senses, even the smallest outdoor area can become a place of great significance. It becomes more than just a dining spot. It becomes a sanctuary for the mind and body, a place where the simple act of sharing a meal is elevated into an experience of beauty and connection. This is the essence of thoughtful design, to transform space into meaning, to turn square meters into moments, and to ensure that every step, every seat, every breath feels exactly as it should. When the day begins to fade and the light leans toward evening, the garden or courtyard shifts into a new identity. The brilliance of daylight gives way to softness, and every surface begins to glow with a gentle warmth. Shadows stretch, colors deepen, and edges lose their sharpness. It is in this moment that lighting becomes the silent architect of mood. Thoughtfully placed illumination turns even the smallest outdoor space into an intimate stage for shared meals and lingering conversations. The glow of a lantern at the center of a table, the delicate sparkle of string lights suspended overhead, and the subtle wash of recessed lights along pathways or walls together create an atmosphere that draws people in. Here, the garden ceases to be a mere backdrop. It becomes a living participant in the evening. Designing light in a small courtyard is an exercise in restraint and precision. Too much light strips away mystery, while too little diminishes comfort and function. The key lies in layering, a combination of overhead glow accent lights that graze the textures of stone or foliage, and candles that move with the breeze. Warm color temperatures bring out the natural beauty of wood, terracotta, and greenery, casting flattering tones on both plants and people. For sustainability and convenience, solar-powered fixtures gather sunlight by day and return it gently at night, extending the experience without demanding more from the environment. Sound shapes the evening space just as profoundly as light. Beyond the walls of the courtyard, the city may hum, but within, the deliberate introduction of gentle, natural sounds alters the entire character of the night. A small water feature, perhaps a narrow spill of water into a stone basin, offers a steady, calming rhythm that encourages conversation to slow. The ripples catch the light, reflecting tiny moving patterns that add another dimension to the design. In cooler climates, a compact fire pit or tabletop heater can become both a visual anchor and a source of warmth, encouraging guests to linger long after the meal is done. Plant selection for evening enjoyment draws on contrasts in texture and light reflectivity. In low lighting, the glimmer of silvery leaves from lamb's ear or dusty miller stands out beautifully. Variegated foliage catches stray beams, keeping the garden visually active even as the sun disappears. Night-blooming plants like jasmine or moonflower offer their fragrance in the dark, making scent as important as sight. Fragrant herbs near the dining area release subtle aromas when brushed against, linking the sensory environment to the flavors served at the table. Furniture placement at night is about defining space without restricting movement. Pulling the dining table slightly inward from the courtyard's edge creates a natural sense of gathering. Chairs are arranged for ease of circulation, and materials are chosen to be inviting in cooler evening air. Wicker, rattan, or weather-treated wood exude warmth, while cushions in muted earth or jewel tones add comfort and depth without overwhelming the natural palate. Integrating cooking into the outdoor space enhances its role as a social hub. A small grill, pizza oven, or even a simple built-in countertop allows food preparation to unfold alongside the gathering, blending the act of cooking with the act of dining. Without the separation of kitchen and table, the host remains part of the evening's flow. Even a modest bar cart stocked with drinks and small plates can serve as a dynamic addition, ensuring guests are never far from the heart of the activity. Material choices carry particular weight in small evening spaces. Surfaces should invite touch and convey authenticity. A reclaimed wood tabletop rich with character, stone pathways set in irregular patterns, or softly woven linens that fall naturally over the table's edge. In intimate environments, each texture is magnified, making quality and detail essential. Though space may be limited, there is always room for a single dramatic gesture. This might take the form of a sculptural tree in a large clay pot, its silhouette striking against the night sky, or an art piece that reflects the homeowner's personality. Mirrors can be placed strategically to reflect both plantings and candlelight, creating the illusion of greater depth while amplifying the available light. Evenings in a small courtyard invite a particular rhythm. There is no rush, conversation flows at the pace of the surroundings, the air holds the scent of herbs, the sound of water threads through the background, and the glow of light softens every line. Guests lean in, voices drop, and the intimacy of the space deepens. These are not moments for spectacle, but for connection, quiet, genuine, lasting. The transformation from day to night is not just a change in lighting, it is a shift in atmosphere, in pace, in focus. When each design choice supports this shift, the courtyard becomes more than a dining area. It becomes a living scene that changes with the seasons, responds to the weather, and shapes the memories formed within it. Thoughtful design ensures that as the evening unfolds, the space feels complete, neither needing more nor offering less, only exactly what is needed for the night to feel whole. Morning in a small garden or courtyard brings with it a different energy, one defined by clarity, freshness, and the quiet optimism of a new day. In this light, the textures and colours of the space come alive in a way that evening's shadows can only hint at. Dew clings to leaves, the air is cool and fragrant, and the first rays of sunlight filter through foliage to create delicate patterns across the ground. It is a time when the garden feels closest to nature's original intent, a living, breathing environment that invites activity while offering moments of stillness. Designing for the morning means embracing brightness without overwhelming the senses. Surfaces that catch and reflect sunlight can make even the smallest courtyard feel more expansive. Pale stone paving, whitewashed walls, or light-toned gravel brighten the space naturally, eliminating the need for artificial lighting during the day. In contrast, pockets of shade provided by a small pergola, climbing plants, or a strategically placed umbrella offer visual relief and a place to retreat from the glare when needed. These alternating zones of light and shadow add depth, giving the eye multiple layers to explore. In the early hours, a courtyard can serve as an open-air breakfast room. A small round table positioned to catch the morning sun becomes a welcoming spot for coffee, fruit, and freshly baked bread. The soundscape is different now, perhaps the rustle of leaves stirred by a light breeze, or the chirping of birds drawn to the garden's shelter and food sources. Planting choices for the morning should include species that open or turn toward the sun, adding a dynamic, living quality to the space. Marigolds, daisies, and morning glories thrive in this environment, while herbs like basil and thyme release their scent as the sun warms their leaves. Functionality in the morning setting extends beyond dining. For many, this time of day is an opportunity for quiet work or creative thinking. A comfortable chair in a sunny corner, accompanied by a small side table, can transform part of the courtyard into an inspiring outdoor office. In small spaces, versatility is everything. A dining chair might double as a reading seat, and a bench along one wall could serve as both seating and storage. Water features in the morning take on a heightened clarity. The reflection of the sky in a shallow pool or the sparkle of droplets from a small fountain can animate the space. The cool sound of water complements the crisp air, encouraging the slow enjoyment of the moment. For those who practice yoga, meditation, or Tai Chi, such a space becomes a sanctuary for morning rituals. Even a few square meters, if thoughtfully arranged, can support these activities without sacrificing the core purpose of the courtyard as a dining and gathering place. The morning garden is also a working garden. It is the ideal time for light maintenance, watering plants before the day's heat, harvesting herbs for the kitchen, or trimming growth to keep the space balanced. Raised planters or pots placed near the dining area make it easy to pick fresh ingredients for breakfast or prepare for the evening's meal. In climates with distinct seasons, the morning routine might also include checking on seasonal plants or adjusting coverings to protect against sudden temperature changes. Furniture in the morning light should feel welcoming yet understated. Natural materials like untreated wood, rattan, or bamboo resonate with the freshness of the hour. Soft cushions in linen or cotton, perhaps in pastel or earth tones, can be easily removed and stored to protect them from dew. Lightweight furniture allows for flexibility. Pieces can be moved to follow the sun or shade as the day unfolds. The role of scent in the morning cannot be overstated. Planting fragrant blooms near seating areas ensures that the first breath taken outdoors is infused with freshness. Citrus blossoms, rosemary, mint, and lavender all contribute to a sensory awakening. Even the aroma of damp soil after watering adds to the authenticity of the experience, connecting the inhabitant directly to the life of the garden. Aesthetically, the morning courtyard benefits from clean lines and uncluttered surfaces. While evening design thrives on layering light and shadow, the morning benefits from openness and order. The visual calm allows the mind to focus on the details that change with the light: the opening of a flower, the movement of insects, the slow drying of dew. In this way, the garden becomes not only a setting for activity, but also a canvas for observing the quiet beauty of natural processes. The transition from morning to midday is gentle in a well-designed space. As the sun climbs higher, the courtyard adapts, shade becomes more important, seating might be shifted, and plants positioned to protect more delicate species from intense heat. The adaptability of the space ensures that its character remains inviting at every hour. Thoughtful design in the morning stage sets the tone for the entire day, ensuring that whether it is used for dining, working, relaxing, or simply breathing, the courtyard remains a place where life feels both grounded and elevated. In this light, the garden is not just an outdoor room. It is a daily partner, greeting each day with quiet confidence. Its beauty is in its ability to adapt, to host moments of solitude and gatherings alike, and to always feel complete no matter how it is used. The morning's clarity leaves an imprint that carries through the day, reminding everyone who passes through that thoughtful design can turn even the smallest space into a source of renewal.